Homework on the old dividing a line segment in a given ratio. I gave you the even ones, was it? It was on page 158. Was it 2468 I gave you? Yeah. Anyone need number 2? Anyone need number 4? Anyone need number 6? Yeah, number 6. So the line segment -2 -1 is A, right? Okay. Number 6, and BC are produced, right? Okay. So I have B, right? Okay, which is 3 4, and it says it's produced means it's extended to C, right? Okay, so I'm missing the coordinates of C. Is that all right? So I'm missing C, right? It said produced to C. That means it's extended. So A and B aren't the endpoints, right? A and C are the endpoints. Okay, is that all right? So and then they said A to C. So A to C is 4 is to 1. Okay, but the dividing the line in the given ratio is normally the middle one. So if that was 4 parts all to the end and it's 1 part to here, what would this be? 3 parts, wouldn't it? Okay, so it's like the line A is -2 -1, and this is C is XY, right? Okay, and 3 4 is the one that is the point that divides it in the ratio. 3 is to 1. Does everyone see what I've done there? So, right, they've said A is here, B is here. They said it's produced to C, so C is the one at the end, right? And then they said AC to CB is 4 is to 1. Okay, so then figuring that out, the whole line is 4 parts. This is 1 part, so this is 3 parts. So it's actually B divides AC. B divides AC in the ratio 3 is to 4, or 3 is to 1, sorry. So I've just taken the information they've given me in the question, right? Okay, and just rearranged it so that the B is dividing AC. Is that all right? Are we good? Right, okay. So then I went -2 -1 goes to 3 4, and it goes on again, right? Okay, and this is 3 jumps, right? This is 3 steps to here, and it's 1 step to here. 3 steps, 1 step. Where did I get the 3 steps, 1 step? The ratio 3 is to 1. Is that okay? Are you with me? Right, okay, so let's see what happens, right? So the x goes -2 goes to 3, that means add 5. So when I went 3 steps, I added 5. So 3 steps was to add 5. Agreed? Okay, now I want to go 1 step. So if 3 steps is to add 5, divide each side by 3. So 1 step is to add 5 over 3, wouldn't it? To go from 3 down to 1, divide by 3. So divide by 3. So add 5 over 3. So here 3 add 5 over 3. So I'm going to add 5 over 3. Yeah. Okay. So I add 5 over 3. So that's 9 over 3. Add 5 over 3 is 14 over 3. Then I'm going to look at the y's. So the y started at -1 and it went to 4. So that's +5 again, right? So if 3 steps is +5, 1 step is +5 over 3. 1/3 of that. Okay? So add 4, add 5 over 3. So 4 3, that's 12 over 3. Add 5 over 3 would give me 17 over 3. And that's my answer. Is that okay? You can do it with the formula as well, but you know that big long rigmarole thing I did yesterday. You can actually do it with this, but I'm afraid to. Yeah. Okay, this way works. Okay? Does everyone understand what I did? Anyone confused? Right? So I changed it from a ratio of 4:1 to 3:1. Right? Okay? Because B was in the middle, not C. Okay? So then I said it was 3:1, so then I just did translation. So the first A goes to B, so that went add 5 to the x's. That's 3 steps, so 1/3 of that would be 1 step. So 5 divided by 3. So to do 1 step then, because it's 3:1, 1 step you add 5/3. Right? The y's happen to be plus 5 as well. That's not always the case. Right? The y's happen to be plus 5 as well. So again, 3 steps is add 5, so divide by 3, 1 step would be add 5/3. So you add 5/3 onto 4 and you get 17/3. Okay? Are we alright?
Yes, where did you get the ratio 3:1?
Because the whole, right, in the question they told me A, they told me what B was, so they told me A, they told me B, and they told me it was produced to C, so C was at the end. And then they told me the ratio A to C was 4, to C to B was 4:1. Okay? So the whole line is 4 parts. So that's 4 steps to the end, so that means it's 3 steps to A from A to B and 1 from B to C. So 3:1 is what I used instead of 4:1. Is that right? Questions? Problems? Right. Okay. That was number 6, 8 people. Probably 8. Right, okay. So it's number 8. So P is in the middle. So A is at one end, minus 10, 7. Right? Then P is in the middle. P is in the middle. So it's minus 6y. And then B is at the other end of the line, which is x minus 5. Okay? Now I need the ratio is 1:3. So it's 1:3, so that means it's 1 step to P, and then it's 3 times as long to B, so it's 3 steps to B, because the ratio was 1:3. Is that okay? We go with that? So 1 step, and then 3 times as long to B. So let's look at our x's. Minus 10 went to minus 6. So what did I do? What did I do? I added on 4. Now I have to do 3 steps, so it's 3 times bigger. So instead of adding 4, what will I add for the next step? I'm going to add what? 12, because it's going to be 3 steps bigger. So I'm going to add 12. So minus 6 add 12 gets me to 6. Agreed? Right? Okay. So I've just figured out x is 6. Okay? Right, then let's do the y's. Right, okay, so the y is 7 goes to y. Right, okay, so 7 goes to y, and then it goes on to minus 5. Would you agree? So that's what happens here. Okay, so the whole way would be how many steps? 4 steps, wouldn't it? Because it's 1 step to y and it's 3 steps to minus 5. So it's 4 steps, yes.
You know when we did the minus 6 to x?
Yes.
How did you know it was plus 12?
Because minus 6 plus, oh, how did I know to add on 12? Because you know the ratio is 1:3.
Yeah.
So it's 1 step and 3 steps, yeah? So if I know, I looked at the first one, the first step was 1 plus 4. So that's 1 step. So I now have to go 3 times as long, right? Because it's 3 steps, because that's the ratio. So 3 times as long, 3 times 4 is 12.
Okay, thank you.
Is that alright?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm looking at the y's. I'm missing the middle one for the y's, so it's slightly different. Okay, so it's to go from A to P to B, it's 4 steps from the start to the end, isn't it? Because you have to go 1 step, then 3 steps, yeah? Would you agree? Right, so it's 4 steps to the end. So 4 steps is how much? What did I do to go from 7 to minus 5? Did I take away 12? Yeah. So to go 4 steps, I would take away 12. But only to go to the middle is I only want to go to 1 step. So if 4 steps is to take away 12, what would 1 step be? Take away 3, wouldn't it? Divide by 4. So to take away 3, what would y be equal to? Just to go 1 step. 1 step is, yeah, so y would be 4. So y equals 4. And that's my answer. You can use it with the formula, okay, but yeah. And it will work, it'll be fine, okay, but I'm actually very afraid, and this is shorter, okay? Did anyone do it with the formula and get the same answer? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just a bit longer, yeah? But it's perfect. Right, okay? Are we good? Right. And if this confuses the hell out of you, go home and try it with the formula, right? And see if you can figure it out that way, okay? Right, are we okay? Right, then we did centroid, so I asked you to do I just asked you to do number 2, was it? Or did I ask you to do 1 as well? 1 and 2, right? Number 1 was just filling out the formula for the centroid, x1 plus x2 plus x3 over 3, and y1 plus y2 plus y3 over 3. Anyone need me to do any bit of number 1? Centroid, it's the one with the formula. It's the easy one, right? Okay. Number 2, am I doing number 2? Yeah. Right, okay. I wrote this out. Okay, so question 2, right? I'm going to draw it, okay? So, if in doubt in coordinate geometry, draw. Always draw, right? Okay, it's amazed what you can see when you draw it, okay? So I have 0, 0, right? I have 4 0 are the corners of my triangle. So 4 0 is across 4 up 0. And the last one I have is 1 3, so across a 1 up to 3. Okay. So there we are. There's my triangle. Okay? So you want to get the coordinates of the orthocenter. So the orthocenter is where the perpendicular bisectors of all 3 lines intersect. So the perpendicular bisector here would be a vertical line, right? Okay, so it would be straight down here, wouldn't it? Okay. The perpendicular bisector here would be like so, and the perpendicular bisector here would be like so. Agreed? That is your circumcenter. So it's where the perpendicular bisectors, so all those lines are right angles. Now, do you need to do all 3? No, 2 is enough. So you need to get the equation of this line, and you need to get the equation of this line. Why those 2 lines? Because they're the ones I picked. I could have easily picked that one. This one is very easy to get, you'll see in a minute, right? So this one is very easy, so you'll definitely be using that one, right? Okay, but you don't have to, you can use the other 2, it'll just take you longer, okay? Right, so to get the equation of these lines, I need a point and I need a slope, right? So to get the point, it's the midpoint. So I have these coordinates here, so I have that and that. The midpoint is there, right? And to get the slope of this line, I need to get the slope of this line and turn it upside down and get a perpendicular line. Is that okay? Are we good? Right. Do we all know where we're at? So I'm going to do the line across here at the bottom to start with. So 0, 0 is at one end and 4 0 is at the other end. And I want to get the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So I've just drawn it out there separately, okay, just so it's clearer and it's not all squashed up in my picture. Okay, I need to get the equation of this line here. So I need the slope of that line and I need a point on that line. The point is the midpoint. I don't need to use the midpoint formula because it's pretty obvious what's the midpoint. What's the midpoint? What's that point there? It's 2, 0, isn't it? It's halfway between 0 and 4, 2. So it's 2, 0. Agreed? Right. I get the slope of this line. So the slope, so I'm going to use 4 naught, naught naught. Sorry, I don't need to get the slope of that line, sure I don't, because it's the x-axis, isn't it? And what do I know about the slope of the x-axis, please? What's the slope of the x-axis? 0. What am I doing? I don't need any of that, because that line is just a vertical line through 2, isn't it? It's a vertical line through 2. So what's the equation of a vertical line through 2? All the vertical lines, they all have the equation x equals. So if it goes through 2, that's the name of that line is x equals 2. So the equation of that line is x equals 2. So I don't need a slope or any of that. It's just x equals 2. It's one of those special lines you learnt about in junior cert. Okay? If the lines are parallel to the x-axis, what are they? They're always y equals 1, y equals 7, whatever. So these are always x equals, and horizontal lines are always y equals, right? So that's a line x equals 2. So all you had to figure out was which x was it going through. So that's the line x equals 2. Happy? Right, I'm going to say, I said I was going to do this line here. Then I want this line, that was 1, 3. This was 4 naught. Okay, and I want to get the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So I want to get the equation of that line. So I need the midpoint, and I need the slope of this line so I can get the slope of a perpendicular line. Okay, so the midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So the midpoint is 5 over 2, 3 over 2. Are we good with that? Right, I'm going to get the slope of this line. So the slope of that line is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1, which is minus 3 over 3, which is minus 1. The slope of that, is it minus 1? It must be. Right, is it? Yeah. Okay, that's not the line we're looking for. The line we're looking for, so that point here is 5 over 2, 3 over 2. Okay? The slope of this line is minus 1. That's not the line we're looking for. The line we're looking for is perpendicular to that line. So what's the slope of the perpendicular line? If this is minus 1, turn it upside down and change the sign. 1. Right, so the slope of the line you're looking for is 1. Is that alright? Okay, so let's get the equation of the line we're looking for. So y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. So this is x1, y1. So it's y minus 3 over 2 equals 1 into x minus 5 over 2. Multiplying out, rearranging, so bring that over, it's minus x. Y's here already, plus y. Here I have minus 5 over 2, bring the 3 over, it's plus 3 over 2. So that would be equals 1, no. 5 over 2 plus. Is there a sign wrong somewhere?
Is the slope minus 1?
The slope, when I work this out,
No, the slope's correct. I think it might just be 1.
it is 1, is it?
Probably is.
Anyone got this done? Anyone get the equation of that line? Yeah, I don't want to keep going if I've made a mistake. Yeah, it should be okay, is it? Minus x plus y. See, that doesn't go through 4 naught. Oh, it's not supposed to. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's grand. Right, okay. So one of my equations is x equals 2. The second equation is minus x plus y equals 1. Yeah? Okay. So I've just figured out x is 2, haven't I? Okay, so that means minus 2 plus y equals 1. So y is equal to 1 plus 2, which is 3. So the point of it, or the orthocenter, circumcenter is 2, 3. Okay, is that alright? Okay, it takes a bit of thinking about, but as I kept saying yesterday, there's actually nothing new here. All you're doing is getting a slope, then getting the slope of a perpendicular line. You're getting a midpoint, getting equations, simultaneous equations to solve. Okay, it's just getting it clear in your head, why am I doing what I'm doing? Right, okay, is that alright?
Yes, is the equation not supposed to equal -1? Because it's, like,
So I have it wrong, so yeah, it does equal -1, you're right. So that means y will turn out to be 1. So it's 2, 1 is the answer, thank you. Right, okay, yeah. Okay, are we grand? Right, okay. Have I time for the orthocenter today? I have. Right, I have to be quick. Right, we need to do the orthocenter today. So the orthocenter, girls, is the point of intersection of the perpendiculars from the vertices to the opposite sides. Okay, so it doesn't go through the midpoint, right? Okay, so it just goes, makes a drop a perpendicular. Okay, so drop a perpendicular to the opposite side. So drop a perpendicular to the opposite side. So I try to draw a triangle where you can clearly see that it doesn't go to the midpoint, right? It just drop a perpendicular from the vertex, from the corner to the opposite side, okay? And where those three perpendicular intersect is a special point called the orthocenter. Okay, so this is very similar to what we've done, except you don't use the midpoint anymore. You use the point of the opposite corner. Okay, so you need to get the equation of two of these lines. So you'd be getting the equation of, say, this line, right, time for colours. So say you were to get the equation of the red line and the equation of the blue line, and then you find where they intersect. So you get the equation of the red line and the blue line, and you find where they intersect. To get the equation of a line, again you need a slope and a point. So you get the slope of the red line from getting the slope of the bottom line, turn it upside down, changing the sign, right? Then the point that the red line goes through this corner, so you don't need to do a midpoint. It's actually shorter in that the point is already there for you, right? To get the green line, the equation of the green line, you need the slope. So you would get the slope of this line here, and you would turn it upside down, change the sign, you would get the slope of this line here. Then you also have the corner, the point, and you will get the equation, simultaneous equations, work it out. Okay, right, example. Can I take that away? Right, example, right, okay. So, I'm not going to draw it out accurately, or am I? No, I'm not. I'm just going to draw any old triangle. Right, okay, and I'm going to call this point 4, 2. Right, I'm going to call this minus 2, 5. And I'm going to call this minus 1, minus 3. Okay, I'm going to get the equation of that perpendicular, right? Okay, so I'm going to get the equation of that line, and I'm going to get the equation of this line. Okay, and then when I have the two equations, I'm going to find the point of intersection. Okay, so will I start with this line here? So I'm going to get the slope. I'm starting with the colours. I'll start with the green line. Sorry. So I'm starting with the green line. Right, okay. So the green line, I want to get the equation of the green line. So I need a slope and a point. I have a point. Point is minus 2, 5, don't I? I have a point, so I just need a slope. So I get the slope of this line here. So I use 4, 2 and minus 1, minus 3 to get the slope. Right, okay, and then I turn it upside down, change the sign, I'll have the slope of the green line. Right, so y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1, which is minus 5 over 5, which is plus 1. So the slope of this line here is plus 1. Right, I'm not interested in that line, I'm interested in the green line, which is perpendicular to it. So what's the slope that I want to use? Minus 1. Turn it upside down, change the sign. Right? So my point is minus 2, 5, and my slope is minus 1. Get the equation. So I have y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1, x minus 2. Rearranging, that would be x plus y equals, that would be a minus, and bring that over, that would be plus, that would be 3. There's the equation of the green line. Can't go any further with that. That's step 1. Right? Got it? Okay, so I've just taken lots of formulas there and didn't write them out. I just filled them in, etc. But it's slope, perpendicular slope, equation of a line. Okay? Right? Now I'm going to go with the red line. So the red line, I want to get the equation of the red line. So I have a point, 4, 2, don't I? So I have a point for the red line, 4, 2. I need a slope. So I'm going to get a slope of the bottom line. So I'm going to get the slope of the minus 2, 5 and the minus 1, minus 3. Okay, and I'm going to get the slope of that. So it's y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1, okay, which is minus 8 over 1, okay, so minus, that's an 8.
Miss, could you coach?
Can I, yeah, can I do this? Would that be okay? I still want the diagram, okay, so, right, again, that's the slope of this line, the bottom line here. That's not the one I'm looking for. The corresponding slope, so the perpendicular slope is what? 1 over 8. Plus 1 over 8. Okay, so there's my slope. My point is 4, 2, because it goes through 4, the red line goes through 4, 2. Then I get the equation, so it's y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. Multiplying up by the 8, I'll get 8y minus 16 equals x minus 4. Rearranging that, I have minus x plus 8y equals 12. Okay, there's my second equation. Right. Simultaneous equations. Minus x plus 8y equals 12 is my first equation. There's my other one, x plus y equals 3. X's cancel, 9y equals 15. So that means y is equal to 15 over 9, which cancels down to 5 over 3, doesn't it? Hope it does. Right, and then I'll take the second equation because it's easier. X plus y equals 3. Just figured out y is 5 over 3. Bring over the 3 minus 5 over 3 would be 4 over 3. So the orthocenter is 4 over 3, 5 over 3. Again, not one thing new did I teach you today, right? It was just go and see what you're actually doing, okay? So it's long, it's complicated, a diagram helps, Okay, but, yeah, page 1, but there's nothing new in it. So page 160, right, no, 161, that was number 4. So let's do 5, 6 and 7 for homework. They're long. Okay, and a diagram. You need a diagram to see what you're doing. Okay, if you don't have a diagram, it's really hard to see what you're doing. So a diagram. Sorry? No, you don't have to, but you're probably not going to be able to do it without one. Okay, right? Are we good?